Hello, everyone. Happy Memorial Day weekend, for those of you that celebrate at least. My name is Dizzy. I am the builder of Project Rend, and this is the second update video for the upcoming app that I've been working on. I've been primarily working on capture capabilities so that runs are easier to get in and manage, and also now we have a modules page. So I'm excited to show you both of those things today. The capture thing is really important to me because I feel like we as a community have good tools for holding on to our data, but they're notoriously difficult to get our data into. And really, this is what motivated me to build any of this in the first place. Was like, I am just sick and tired of typing each individual thing that I care about from my run page, my run stats page, after every run. And it's just tedious, it's time consuming, it's not really fun, and I want to get back to farming or figure out what to do next. And I can't make decisions about my data until I have it. So I was like, well, OCR is, I think, the right call here. I can take a screenshot, I can run stuff through it, and get my stats out of it. That's something that we've already had, at least in here. I know there are other tools in the community that do the same thing, but I wanted to take it a step further. So I tried to automate some of the process of taking screenshot, uploading screenshot into tool, and then having tool read it. It's definitely a little bit buggy still, but it is really good. There's just a couple little things that I need to work out in terms of like certain things that it just misses sometimes. But I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to show you the new modules page that I'm super psyched about. It was a lot of work. I'm really hoping that people want it and need it. At least it's a good thing that you can kind of look at and figure out where you are and then what you need to do next. And I hope that as people look to share their tower details with their friends, what you put in here, what we have elsewhere in the app, will make it that much easier to kind of give advice, or I suppose brag if that's your thing, although I don't know too many people in this community who are like that. But it's just all in service of making things more comprehensive and more usable for everybody involved. So I'm going to, since I'm in the middle of a run right now and I don't want to end it, since we're probably about 1,000 waves from being done and this is the best income point, I'm just going to take the wave, the current battle report as it runs, because this is pretty close to what is in the final report. You're just missing like killed by and wave up here, and I think everything else is actually probably the same. So let's add a new run here. I'm not going to finalize this one since I'll wait until we're done. But you have this new one-click capture button here. So what we're doing on the back end is I am looking through the windows on your computer, and I'm saying, does this person have BlueStacks running? Do they have a LD player running? If you have more than one of each of them, or one of each, it will say, hey, can't do that, don't know which window to use, please close one. I don't know how many people are running multiple BlueStacks windows or LD players at the same time, how many mobile games you're running. If that ends up being the case, I'll figure out a way to kind of manage around it, but right now I'm just making the assumption that you're using one. I just learned this weekend that MSI also makes a emulator player. I do believe it's actually just BlueStacks under the hood with like a white label for them, but I haven't sought to even look for what that window is called. I have to download the app and then see how it looks when it's running. It's relatively trivial to set up and add. I just haven't done it yet, and I don't know how many of the people in the community actually use MSI player, but if it ends up being a lot of people, I will certainly endeavor to make sure that that works. So let's just do a quick run through here. So let me go back to the top, and then one-click capture, and it grabs a lot of things. So it doesn't have wave because we're not in a wave right now, or we don't have wave data since we haven't ended a run, but it does capture our current duration. So I've been running for almost 8.5 hours here. And then combat. So you're just going to imagine I'm at the end of the run, but it does a decent job at capturing these things. It is missing some stuff. So let's scroll down, we'll grab utility, and we'll do it again. And we'll just keep adding stuff here. For some reason, it's missing Deathwave and Black Hole with some consistency, and I'm not really sure why that is yet. Sometimes it does get them, other times it doesn't. This seems to be one of the times. It's the majority of the time it's been missing them. I just need to dig into what I did differently about these two rows than everything else is. And Projectile, I think, might be similarly buggy. Let me grab him and try again. Yeah, projectile damage, still also fussy. It's these three horsemen of the apocalypse here. And apparently thorn damage is also being a jerk. Yeah. All right, we'll get it figured out. But, you know, this is still 10 million times better than having to type each of these in individually. So as we go down, we just keep capturing stuff. And we can see that the form is, you know, increasingly filling itself out. And then by the end, we have kind of all the stuff that we've gotten in a run. I really think it's going to be valuable. I'm going to close you out. I think it's going to be valuable to have more of this data on hand, because right now, like, we don't have a good way to capture this. If they ever do give us like a nice, easy, like downloadable JSON way from the game itself, great. I'll figure out what to do with it. But I think that, you know, absent any of that, we have a lot of opportunity here for the community to really embrace their own data. For those people that are interested, of course, if you're casual about it, then be my guest, and you don't have to do any of this stuff. You can just play for fun. But I'm playing for stats, and I want to optimize because I think that is fun for me. So that's what I want to do. And I think there's a lot of people who are like me out there that want to do the same thing. So I think that, once we have more of this data on hand, you can really see the trends of what individual weapons are doing. I've got a lot of ideas for like what kind of charts I want to put in here. If if there's some rating system for, your chain lightning is S tier, and your smart missiles are F tier, which I think is, at least relatively speaking for me, probably the case, because I don't have smart missile and my chain lightning is my strongest ultimate weapon. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. I don't really know. I don't have an opinion yet about how to kind of frame those into the app. If it should be a different page than kind of this farming dashboard, which is very econ focused, or if we should do something else. I really need to think through what the right visualization definitions are, and what direction to go in, because I really think that we have all this rich data. I want to make use of it. I want the visualizations to make sense. I don't just want them to be pretty, although I do want them to be pretty too. So I think that, in time, we'll get there. I just had to get the capture down, which is something that I think I previewed in the first video about a week ago. And, this is one step in that direction so that we can really start capturing that data. And then it all gets saved. So I think I've got an old one here that should have some of that data. So if I go back, I can go back and kind of review stuff. I really strongly encourage you, as I start releasing this app to people, to double check these things, because O's and Q's look very similar to a computer, and it can make mistakes there. So you really got to police it. But I think that I double checked those when I did it, so I know those are fine. So that is the new quick capture capability for your run stats. Again, I really think this is going to push our community into a new direction with how we, optimize and think about what to do with our data. Maybe we will find out that Poison Swamp is the actual best ultimate weapon. I don't know, but I'm excited to see what people learned from being able to manage this a little bit better. Tournament page, I don't think anything has changed in here other than that I went to Legends and then I didn't, and then I got a first place this week. So we'll be back on Tuesday. But nothing for the app itself, other than I have an exciting first red bar on my app. Workshop, nothing's changed. There's literally nothing to see here. I swear I'll get to this, but I know it's going to be huge, tedious data entry, and I'm just procrastinating on it because I'm not looking forward to that awful activity. But at some point, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and make it happen. But modules is the page I've been really hard charging on. I've been spending a lot of my time on this, and I'm pretty happy with how this looks. It's got all of your kind of modules organized into obviously their own categories. It tries to give you information about what's where. I probably don't need these 5 module counts since they're all 5, but whatever. That's again a non-breaking issue, so I'll figure it out when I need to. But similar to the adding new runs, I want you to be able to add your modules quickly and easily, because I know that adding each individual substat will be a giant pain in the butt. Not too bad. I mean, this is relatively trivial, but I think that we can do better, and so we did. So let me open my modules up. We'll do the stink ray, and then we'll try to add a new screenshot. Again, we have this live captured button here, and let's see what happens. So when I built this, because this is relatively recent compared to the new run stat, now it's adding the screenshot that it's taking in here. I might seek to try to put that back into the other tool, but because we're capturing so many screenshots per, I need to figure out what makes sense here. But this does get saved to your computer in case you want to review it later. All of them do, but they do go into a temporary file so that when you do your temp cleanup, all that stuff gets washed out. So if you need to refer to it, let me know if I should put it somewhere more deliberate. Otherwise, it just kind of gets washed away whenever you do like a system clean. But Stinkray, I still need to work on it capturing the plus. I think that's going to be relatively trivial to add. I just, I didn't notice that it was doing that until honestly just now. So look for that in the next update. I think that will be a very quick fix. Nothing will be more annoying than getting it to recognize how many stars there are in Ancestral. So if that works, this will be easy. So all of these look good. Crit chance, critical factor, attack speed, bounce shot chance. I'm pretty happy with my shrink ray, despite the fact that I think that the unique effect doesn't do anything. But so we're gonna save it, and yeah, here it is. And we've got our level here. The math around the primary perk is a little bit confounding to me. I tried to look at it a little bit today, but I was much more focused on getting this, fully built and ready to show off for, the update video. But I will try to get this in so that you can kind of predict what things will look like as you level stuff up. I don't know that it's super important to get in here, but I will try to ensure that, there's something to show here at some point, if anything else than to just capture what this is. But I think we can actually figure out the math and do better here. But let's do a couple more. So let's do our Ancestral Sharp Fortitude that I spent way too many gems on, but you know what? It's done now, and I'm pretty thrilled that I've got a 5-star Ancestral when I had no Ancestrals before, I think it was this week. That's what I get for saving all my gems up. So looks good. Ancestral 5-star, level 114, Thorns, Wall, Defense. I gotta re-roll these, but or at least this one and this one. But yeah, looks pretty good. Save, and here he is. So effects used. So it knows that you can go up to 8, but it won't actually let you, kind of use them. Like, you can edit them all you want, but it'll let you know, like, hey, these aren't active yet. Please pay attention to what your levels are. And then it will also tell you, so maybe not for you since you're fully upgraded, it will tell you what you need to do next. So like this is upgraded. Actually, let's take you, resize you so we can see the bottom. So we don't need any more copies of Shrink Ray to get it to Mythic Plus, which obviously we already have, so we can just upgrade it. From here, I can say, okay, so I know I've got 1 extra copy, and it will keep track, and so I can kind of pay attention to when I'm ready if I'm going back and forth. I don't have like a good way for you to kind of, with a screenshot, add how many new copies of a module you are. That would require some pretty heinous computer vision work, which I don't think is a good idea to do for a lot of reasons. I think number one will piss off the devs because like OCR is one thing, but you doing like actual computer vision is a whole nother story, and that is danger zone. So I'm not going to do that. So you're just going to have to manually put these things in by hand. I'm sorry, but that is the only answer that doesn't, cause this effort to run afoul of our terms of service that we have to absolutely pay attention to as we move forward here. So Galaxy Compressor, let's do another one. So you capture screenshot and process it. Everything looks, really good. Save him, and we'll find him right here. Yep, perfect. And again, the Mythic Plus thing, I would probably have that fixed right after I publish this video, but I did want to get this out so I could show people what's been going on. And then, sure, I'll do the last one. These are I'll do later, but Harmony, add new screenshot, capture. And, yep, everything looks perfect. Save, and then, yep, the level was saved correctly. And, again, upgrade him to Mythic Plus. And that's all she wrote for that. I think, yeah, that's everything that I've got updated for the week. Labs is the same. Card tracker is the same. I think mine are almost done. I think I've got 2. Let's see, how many more events left do I have? Let's see, 169. Yeah, so about 2 more. I'll probably do the last 9. 2 more events, and then I will be ready to start doing card masteries, although I don't think I'm going to prioritize my stones for that just yet. Again, really interested to hear people's feedback and interests and desires for what we've got going on here, things that they want. Someone told me that, for example, in the dashboard here, they want to be able to kind of control this recommended farming tier, because right now I've just kind of ascribed values of like what are your recent coins per hour, then your totals. But some people may want to edit these, so I probably will endeavor to make these variables that you can change, and probably some kind of drop downs or something up here. So we'll look for that. probably soon, but you know, I'm trying to add big giant features and then refine them down. But if there's little things like that I can do quickly, I'm very interested to hear about them, of course, but really big things too. Really anything that people want, I am interested to hear more about, so we can, you know, have a conversation about why it matters and what you need from it, so that I can look to build it next. Thank you all for your time and attention. I will, you know, probably publish another video in about another week's time. Some housekeeping updates. I did buy a web address for this. It's not hosted, so I just own the domain. But you know, doing the website is probably going to be relatively close to last. Although you know, getting people's attention to see the website and have things, you know, available so that people understand what's going on here is never a bad thing. But you know, I can only do so much at once. I am going to be looking to do a beta release sometime soon. I don't want to put a timeline on it yet until I really have a better idea about how long it's going to take, but beta will be probably closed beta. You know, people in my clan who have been with me from the beginning of this, a couple people from the community who have given me advice or, you know, features that they want. Those people will definitely be the first ones that I can get this out to, but I don't think it will be much time after that between beta release and general availability, as they call it, for the whole community. I am very excited for where this has been going. I'm really proud of how this looks. But if you think it looks bad, I would like to hear about that. You know, we do have some color management. We've got light mode here, although I think you know, might want to change some of these colors. A little hard to see in light mode, but you know, if you think that this is just a terrible idea, I'm of course interested to hear about that, because I think that, you know, this is a unique capability that we have not had as a community yet, and I really want to deliver. But you know, all opinions are equal, and I want to hear them all the same. Thank you, and I will talk to you all very soon. Bye bye.